Hello, everyone. Welcome back to another episode of our podcast. I'm Jennifer, and I'm thrilled to have you with us today. As always, I'm here with my co-host, Elizabeth. How's everything going, Elizabeth?
I'm doing great, thanks. I'm really excited about today's topic because it's something that can inspire anyone who's learning English literature. Whether you're a book lover or someone looking to improve your language skills, exploring literature can be an incredibly rewarding experience.
Absolutely. English literature offers a rich tapestry of stories, characters, and ideas that can help you not only improve your language skills, but also deepen your understanding of different cultures and historical periods. Today, we're going to take you on a journey through some of the classics of English literature, as well as some modern works that have made an impact in recent years.
Yes, and we'll also discuss how reading literature can enhance your vocabulary, comprehension, and even your speaking skills. Later in the episode, we'll hear from a listener who has recently started exploring English literature and wants to share their experience. We'll offer some tips on how to get the most out of reading literature in English. But before we dive in, if you're new here, make sure to subscribe so you don't miss any of our upcoming episodes. And if you find this podcast helpful, please share it with your friends who are also learning English.
So, let's get started. First, let's talk about why English literature is so important. Literature is more than just a collection of stories. It's a window into the human experience. Through literature, we can explore different perspectives, understand cultural nuances, and see how language has evolved over time. For someone learning English, reading literature can be a powerful way to immerse yourself in the language and see how it's used in different contexts.
That's right, Jennifer. English literature spans centuries, from the medieval tales of Beowulf to the modern-day novels of authors like Zadie Smith. Each period of literature has its own style, themes, and language, which can offer a rich learning experience. For example, reading Shakespeare's plays can introduce you to the beauty of early modern English, while reading contemporary authors can help you understand how English is used today.
Exactly, Elizabeth. And let's not forget that literature also helps you improve your vocabulary and comprehension skills. When you read a novel or a play, you're exposed to new words and phrases that you might not encounter in everyday conversation. Plus, literature often uses language in creative ways, which can help you think about how to express yourself more effectively in English. For example, you might come across metaphorical language, idiomatic expressions, or complex sentence structures that challenge your understanding and push you to expand your vocabulary.
Absolutely. And it's not just about the words themselves, it's also about understanding how those words are used to convey meaning. For example, reading a novel like Pride and Prejudice by Jane Austen can help you see how dialogue is used to reveal character traits and social dynamics. By paying attention to how characters speak and interact, you can learn a lot about tone, nuance, and the subtleties of English conversation.
That's such a good point, Elizabeth. Literature also teaches us about culture and history. Many classic works of English literature are set in specific historical periods, and they reflect the values, beliefs, and social issues of their time. For example, Charles Dickens' novels often highlight the struggles of the poor in Victorian England, while George Orwell's Star 1984 explores themes of totalitarianism and surveillance that are still relevant today. By reading these works, you can gain a deeper understanding of the cultural and historical context in which they were written.
Yes, and that historical and cultural insight is invaluable, especially for language learners. It helps you see how language is shaped by the world around it and how it can reflect broader societal issues. Plus, it makes the reading experience much richer when you understand the background of the story. Speaking of which, let's dive into some key periods of English literature and the works that define them.
Great idea, Elizabeth. Let's start with the Renaissance period, which is often considered the golden age of English literature. This period, spanning the late 15th to the early 17th century, is most famous for its drama and poetry. Of course, when we talk about the Renaissance, we can't ignore the towering figure of William Shakespeare. His plays like Hamlet, Macbeth, and Romeo and Juliet are not only masterpieces of storytelling but also offer a wealth of linguistic creativity that has influenced the English language profoundly.
That's right, Jennifer. Shakespeare's use of iambic pentameter, metaphor, and wordplay is something that still resonates today. But the Renaissance wasn't just about Shakespeare. It was also the era of poets like John Donne, whose metaphysical poetry is known for its intricate use of language and deep exploration of themes like love, death, and faith. For anyone looking to challenge their English skills, Donne's poetry is a great place to start.
Absolutely, Elizabeth. Moving forward in time, we arrive at the Victorian era, a period marked by rapid industrialization and social change. This era produced some of the most beloved novels in English literature. Authors like Charles Dickens, Charlotte Bronte, and Thomas Hardy explored the complexities of social class, morality, and the human condition. For example, Dickens' Great Expectations is a novel that not only tells a compelling story but also offers insight into the struggles of individuals in a rapidly changing society.
Yes, the Victorian era was a time of great storytelling, often with a moral or social message. It's also a period where the English novel really came into its own, with long, detailed narratives that delve deeply into the lives of their characters. For learners of English, reading Victorian novels can be a bit challenging due to the length and detail, but the reward is a richer vocabulary and a deeper understanding of English grammar and syntax.
That's so true, Elizabeth. Now, let's jump to the 20th century, a time of literary experimentation and innovation. This period saw the rise of modernism, with writers like James Joyce, Virginia Woolf, and T.S. Eliot pushing the boundaries of what literature could be. Joyce's Ulysses is famous for its stream of consciousness technique, which can be challenging but also offers a unique way to experience the English language.
Modernist literature is fascinating because it often breaks away from traditional narrative structures and explores the inner workings of the mind. It's a great way to see how English can be used in unconventional ways to convey complex ideas and emotions. And as we move further into the 20th century, we see the rise of postmodernism and contemporary literature, where authors like Salman Rushdie and Margaret Atwood continue to experiment with language and storytelling.
Yes, contemporary literature offers a diverse range of voices and perspectives, reflecting the global nature of the English language today. Whether it's exploring dystopian futures in Atwood's The Handmaid's Tale or magical realism in Rushdie's Midnight's Children, there's something for everyone. And for English learners, these modern works are often more accessible in terms of language, while still offering a rich, challenging experience.
Exactly, Jennifer. And speaking of experiencing literature, we should also talk about the benefits of reading aloud and discussing literature with others. Reading aloud helps improve your pronunciation and intonation, while discussing what you've read with friends or in a book club can deepen your understanding and help you see different perspectives.
That's such a good point, Elizabeth. Literature isn't just something to be read alone. It's something to be shared and discussed. By talking about the themes, characters, and language in a book, you can gain new insights and improve your English in a collaborative way. Speaking of collaboration, we have a listener who's been exploring English literature and wants to share their experience. Let's take the call. Hello, you're on the air with Jennifer and Elizabeth. What's your name and where are you calling from?
Hi, Jennifer. Hi, Elizabeth. My name is Sophia, and I'm calling from Berlin, Germany. I've recently started reading English literature, and it's been both challenging and rewarding. I'd love to share my experience and get your advice on how to make the most of it.
We're so glad you called in. We'd love to hear about what you've been reading and how it's been going for you. Please go ahead and share.
Thanks. I've been reading Pride and Prejudice by Jane Austen, and I'm really enjoying it. The language is quite different from what I'm used to, so it's been a bit of a challenge, but I've learned so much. I've noticed that my vocabulary has improved, and I'm getting better at understanding more formal and complex sentence structures. However, sometimes I struggle with the older English and the social context, and I'm not always sure if I'm interpreting things correctly.
That's wonderful, Sophia. Pride and Prejudice is such a great choice. It's a classic that offers so much in terms of language and social commentary. It's completely normal to find some of the language challenging, especially because the novel was written over 200 years ago. One thing that might help is looking up words or phrases that are unfamiliar or seem outdated. Also, reading a summary or analysis of the book can provide context and help clarify any confusing parts.
That's great advice, Jennifer. Sophia, another tip is to take your time with the book. There's no need to rush through it. Sometimes reading a chapter more than once can help you pick up on things you might have missed the first time. And don't hesitate to discuss the book with others, whether it's in an online forum or with friends who've read it. Discussing your thoughts and questions can deepen your understanding and make the reading experience even more enjoyable.
That's really helpful. Thank you. I think I'll try rereading some of the chapters and maybe even read along with an audiobook to help with the pronunciation and flow of the language. I really appreciate your tips.
You're on the right track, Sophia. Audiobooks are a fantastic way to improve your listening skills and get a better sense of the rhythm of the language. Keep exploring literature and don't be afraid to challenge yourself with different genres and time periods. Each book you read will bring you closer to fluency and a deeper appreciation of English.
Absolutely, Sophia. And remember, literature is meant to be enjoyed. So take your time, savor the language, and let yourself get lost in the stories. Thank you so much for calling in and sharing your experience with us. We wish you the best of luck with your reading journey.
Thanks, Jennifer and Elizabeth. I'm excited to keep going. Take care.
You too, Sophia. Bye for now. That was a great call from Sophia. It's so inspiring to hear how she's diving into English literature and finding both challenges and rewards along the way.
Absolutely. Sophia's experience is a perfect example of how literature can be both a learning tool and a source of enjoyment. Challenges she mentioned, like understanding older language and social context, are common, but there are also opportunities to grow and deepen your understanding of English.
Definitely. And after hearing Sophia's story, it's a good time to reflect on how we can all incorporate more literature into our English learning routine. Whether you're reading classics like Pride and Prejudice or exploring modern works, literature can enrich your language skills and broaden your perspective.
That's so true, Jennifer. It's also important to remember that literature isn't just for advanced learners. There are many levels of literature, from simplified versions of classics to contemporary novels written in more accessible language. No matter where you are in your learning journey, there's something out there for you.
Exactly, Elizabeth. And don't forget that literature is meant to be enjoyed. So, whether you're reading for pleasure or for learning, allow yourself to get lost in the stories, connect with the characters, and explore the themes. The more you engage with the text, the more you'll get out of it.
Yes, and if you ever find yourself stuck or confused, remember that there are many resources available to help you. From online summaries and analyses to discussion groups and audiobooks, there's no shortage of tools to support your literary journey.
So, to recap, today we've explored the world of English literature, from the classics of the Renaissance to modern-day novels. We've discussed how literature can improve your vocabulary, comprehension, and understanding of cultural and historical contexts. And we've heard from Sophia, who shared her experience of reading Pride and Prejudice and offered some great insights on how to approach challenging texts.
Yes, and we hope you feel inspired to pick up a book and start exploring English literature yourself. Whether you're new to literature or a seasoned reader, there's always something new to discover and learn. Thank you all for joining us today. If you found this podcast helpful, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. We have plenty more content coming your way to help you improve your English and dive deeper into interesting topics.
We'll see you in the next episode. Keep reading, keep learning, and happy exploring.
Bye for now.